It's not often that I tell people to simply not buy a new device that I'm reviewing. Companies typically improve their tech year to year or make something new that tries to stand out in the market, but not this time. The Galaxy Tab S6 is Samsung's latest tablet, but when I started to use it and test it, I kept finding things about it that are worse than last year's model. I'll go over every corner that was cut in just a bit, but first I just want to say that there are two alternative tablets listed down in the description that are much better buys, both Android and iPadOS. The Tab S6 Lite's biggest selling point is the price, coming in at just $350, so $50 less than last year's S5e. With that $50 price drop, it has gained two features that the S5e didn't have, and that is S Pen support and a headphone jack. The biggest competitor to the S5e, Apple's budget iPad, has both of those, so I can see why Samsung added them. Unfortunately, in order to have those features and also meet a competitive price point, it ended up killing this device for me personally, and the one group of people that this would have actually been perfect for should just go and buy last year's S5e. Let's start with the display. I love the S5e's sharp OLED display, which was fantastic for watching video with its deep blacks and for reading with its over 4 million pixels, but now it is a dull TFT display with just 2.4 million pixels, and the difference is definitely noticeable. Because of that change, it is almost 30% thicker and 15% heavier. Now it's still usable as a tablet, it's just not as good. On the sides, we have dual speakers, which are actually fairly loud and sound good, but still not as good as the S5e's quad speakers. Probably the most frustrating change is the removal of the keyboard dock connector. I love that we can attach keyboards to these newer tablets and use many of them for serious typing, and the S5es worked fairly well for that, so it makes no sense to me why Samsung got rid of it. My only guess is that they didn't want to invest the money to make a new keyboard, so now you will have to just use a third-party Bluetooth keyboard that won't be as good. Now let's talk about the pen support that they gave us when they took away the keyboard. One benefit is that the S Pen is now included in the box, but it's super lightweight and kind of cheap feeling. When we draw on the screen, there is a massive delay, probably the worst that I've experienced. It seems to be a mix of screen delay and the graphics not keeping up because the delay varies, almost like frames are being sometimes dropped, and this is just with simple drawing, not something that's complex like a project with multiple layers. Overall, the pen experience is quite poor. It's worse than the budget Surface Go 2 and much worse than the basic iPad that costs $329, but most of the time comes in well under that. We'll have some links in the description. Because of the lag and the fact that iOS has so many great apps with pen support, if you're thinking about buying an S6 Lite just for the pen, I would strongly suggest going and picking up one of these basic iPads instead. Let me quickly cover cameras. Last year we had 13 megapixels on the rear and 8 on the front, but a year later they got worse. We have 8 megapixels on the back and 5 on the front. Now, on top of that, we no longer have the ultra-fast fingerprint scanner on the side, and now we're going back to the days of just punching in your PIN or using basic facial recognition, which is kind of unreliable and can be fooled with pictures. Now, for the one true complaint that I had with the S5e last year, the processor. We had the budget Snapdragon 670, which was quite slow and made the tablet sluggish, so when I saw that Samsung got rid of it this year, I was happy, well, until I tested it. This year, Samsung is using their own 8-core Exynos 9611, but when I tested it, I found that it is actually slower than the already slow 670, and keep in mind, it's been a year, so the biggest issue wasn't improved. Now, graphics did get slightly faster, but not enough to make a difference in the real world, and the worst part of all is that this chip is less efficient, so the battery life rating has gone down by 3 hours. Battery itself is the same, but the included charger is now a 7.5 watt slow charger instead of that 18 watt fast charger, so it will take more than twice as long to charge, and the battery will last about 25% less. Yes, I am being very critical of this tablet, where many other reviewers are being much nicer, almost too nice, and not even mentioning what has gone down in quality. And yes, you can still use this. Buy it, use it as a regular tablet, and it will do okay. You'll have a decent experience with simple apps and maybe basic games, web browsing, maybe watching some movies, but that doesn't mean that you should buy it. Samsung went from an overall fantastic tablet that had a few shortcomings to one that is overall the complete opposite. It has a few good things going for it, but if you don't need the pen support and don't mind using a USB Type-C adapter or Bluetooth earbuds, just go buy the S5e instead. Or you can spend a little bit more money and check out the really good standard Tab S6. I'll go ahead and leave some links in the description, and you guys can watch the Tab S6 review right over there. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Click above to subscribe. This has been Max with Max Tech, and I will see you in the next video.